Good morning. My name is Larry Jackson and I'm with the Herrin Fire Department. Today we're going to take you guys on a little trip around the fire truck. We're going to show you guys the different compartments, the different tools, and just the different areas of the fire truck. Okay, we'll start off right here. Of course, this is the front seat. This is where the driver sits. Up here he has all of his controls. He turned for the headlights and everything. He also sets the pump for when we have to actually pull water out of the fire truck on a fire. He can pull this lever right here and set the truck into pump. He has the radio to communicate with the various departments. It's up there also. Up in the center there, you'll see a key. Okay, some of your businesses have what's called a Knox box, and they'll have a box on the front of the building, okay, that is locked. Well, that key that you see opens up that box, and inside that box is a key to their building, which will allow us to enter that building if we need to make sure that nothing's on fire. That's a lot better than having to break a window or break the door in. So it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot better for everyone to have that. Okay, this is where the officer sits. Okay, up here you can see this computer screen. Okay, up on that computer screen, that is going to give us directions. Another big thing it does is it shows us where fire hydrants are located. That's a big thing. Okay, so as we're going to the house or wherever, we're going to know exactly where it's at. We continue around, we'll see the back of the fire truck. Okay, this is where the firefighters ride. All right, as you can see, a lot of helmets. This is our air pack, okay, and it's built into the seat. So when we get in the fire truck, we sit down, we put our seat belt on, and then we can put our hook our air pack up, put our straps on, and we can have everything ready to go when we pull up on scene. You can see here the mask that we put on is already hooked up to the air pack, so we'll be ready to go. Each air pack has a thermal imaging camera attached to it. It allows us to see through smoke. We can find the fire. Okay, if we can't find the fire because the smoke is so thick, it also allows us to see if there's a person in the room. So that is a very useful tool. We have our medical supplies in the center there underneath those helmets. We help the ambulance when they need help. We are first responders, so we respond with them if they need help. We have some hazard cones here that we will set out to help direct traffic away from us if we need to. We have an axe, okay, and a halogen bar we use to force entry into a door if we need to. Okay, if we go to a house and the house is on fire, we need to get in that house, we can use these tools to gain entry into the house. Around here is one of our compartments. As you can see, we have some fittings on here. Okay, these fittings allow us to use on fire hose to attach either a different size fire hose to it, add more fire hose on, just whatever we need to do with the fire hose. Okay, here's some larger fittings. Okay, we would use these for our larger diameter hose, which we'll show you guys in just a minute. We have an extra nozzle up here. Just some more fittings here that we would use. If we go to Marion Fire Department, their stuff's a little different. So we would need some different fittings for them. So that's what that is. We have some extrication tools, some hand tools that we would use. We go to a car wreck. We could cut glass, cut steering wheel, just all kinds of different things we can do. Small tools are in there. We have some cribbing. Okay, we're on a car wreck. We really want to stabilize that car. We don't want that car to move for the patient's sake. So we can use these, which is just blocks of wood that we can stick underneath the car, which will keep the car from rocking. Okay, we don't want the car to move a whole lot. So that's what we would do with that. There's just a small generator. All right, we could use for power if we need power for something, a light, whatever, we could use that. These are just some more tools. There's a sawzall, a reciprocating saw in there. This would be to get into a lock. Okay, if we do have a building that we need to get into that doesn't have that Knox box that I talked about earlier, all right, we have some special tools in there that just to break the lock. Okay, so it's cheaper and easier for a business owner to replace just the lock than it would be to replace the whole door. So in an emergency, if we have to, we would use something like this. On around. Okay, we have some more tools. Okay, we have a sledgehammer. This would, in the fire service, this would be called a short pike pole. It's for pulling. Okay, if we have a ceiling, excuse me, that we need to get down, okay, we would use this for pulling on a ceiling. We have axes. This is called a pick head axe because of the pick. Okay. In this compartment right here, we have spare air bottles. Okay, these are on our air packs, our SCBAs, which stands for self-contained breathing apparatus. Okay, these are spare bottles. They're full. Okay, so if we come out of a house or come out of a building and our air is low, we can grab one of these spare bottles and replace our bottle. Okay, so we've got a fresh supply of air. On average, we can get approximately 30 minutes of air in these bottles when we're inside working. These are fire extinguishers. Okay, this is what we call a water extinguisher. It just has water in it. It's a small fire. It could be a trash can inside the house on fire. Just something small. We can use this water extinguisher for it instead of pulling off a big hand line. Okay, here's just another extinguisher. Okay, now back here, this is our extrication compartment. Okay, we get called out to a car wreck, all right, where the door has been smashed. We can't get that door open. Okay, so we have to get that door open in order to get that patient out. All right, and these are the tools that we use. You guys may have heard what they refer to as the jaws of life. All right, well, these are the jaws. Okay, what happens is when they're hooked up to this, okay, this is the machine, if you will, that supplies the power to open these. But these tips here will spread open. Okay, so we can stick that in to the door and then squeeze the handle and it will spread open. Okay, which pries that door open, and we pull hard enough, and eventually, that door will open. Okay, to get in. Okay, these are cutters. All right, just think of them as a big old pair of scissors. Okay, so we can cut metal with these, and then we can pry metal open with these. All right, these are just some more tools. These spread. Okay, if we need to spread, if the steering wheel is too close, different things, we can use these to spread. Okay, again, this is the power unit that runs these tools. Okay, it's run on gasoline. Okay, and it's a hydraulic through these hoses, hooks up into these hoses right here. Okay, and that's how we get the power to operate these tools. Okay, back here we have more fire hose. This would be a long section of fire hose that we would use if the fire is a long distance away from the fire truck. Okay, this right here is it's what we call 2.5 inch hose. It's just a bigger diameter hose. If we have a large fire where we need to spray a lot of water quick, okay, we can pull this. Okay, if you look at the yellow hose here, okay, now this hose here is simply what is called a supply line. This hose here gets hooked to a fire hydrant. Okay, then we would open up the fire hydrant and it would supply, the other end of the hose gets hooked into the fire truck. All right, and we would have an endless supply of water. Okay, we won't run out of water by hooking to the fire hydrant. If you can see in there real well, we have ladders. We're going to use this, like I said, to get up to the roof, maybe get up second story window or whatever. Okay, this is what we're going to use. Okay, remember I showed you guys in that little compartment, that little hook I showed you guys that we could pull ceiling and stuff with? Well, this is the same thing, only it's, there we go, only it's a lot longer. Okay. Up above your ceiling in every house, we have an attic. Okay, that's where a lot of wiring is run. You have insulation up there. Okay, we want to make sure that that fire hasn't extended into the attic. So this was what we would use to pull a ceiling down with. Okay, this is just a longer version again of what I showed you earlier. Okay, you can see here on the bottom we have fans. Okay, they're both the same. One runs on gasoline and one runs on electric. Okay, the thing about the gas fan is we can't use it, we don't want to use it inside the house because of the exhaust fumes. Okay, if we can leave it outside, that's fine, but we don't want to use it inside. Sometimes we go to where people have like accidentally burnt their food, okay, and we need to get the smoke out of there. Well, from the food, but we don't want to set up this gas fan and put the fumes from the exhaust into the building. So we would use this electric fan here, okay, and we can help get the smoke out of the house. Okay, up here you see some tarps. Okay, sometimes we would use tarps to cover up people's furniture or belongings, to help just keep water and stuff off of them, just so we don't have any more damage than we have to. We have you see the orange things over here? Those are frisbees, okay? It is a water rescue frisbee. You'll see there's the cable on it. If someone was out in the water struggling and needed help, we could throw that frisbee out there to them, okay, and hold on to that rope, and then they would grab onto that frisbee and we could pull them back into safety. Over here to this compartment, we have a short ladder. This right here is what we call our high-rise pack. Okay, if we have a fire in our high-rise or our tall building like that, we would use this to hook up into the high-rise. The high-rise has places in the building that allows us to hook this up. So instead of taking the hose off of the fire truck and trying to get up to the 3rd or 4th floor of the high-rise, okay, we can actually take this to the floor that we need and hook it up there. Okay, this here is just some more fittings and stuff that goes with the high-rise pack. In this compartment we have lights. Okay, that's what this is. That's what this is up here is. Sometimes at night, okay, we need to be able to see. Okay, so we can set these lights up, all right, and they will allow us to see. Down here we have the chainsaw that I talked about earlier. This is what we would call a K12 saw, all right, and it's just a big, heavier saw. And if you see the blade on here, okay, there's a couple of different options we can put on there. One, we could cut concrete, all right, if we ever needed to cut for whatever reason through some concrete, we can. We can put a different blade on there if we need to cut through steel, rebar, barring, whatever. We can put that blade on there, which would allow us to cut through that. Okay, today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about our fire hose. All right, we're going to show you guys a little bit about all this stuff. This is our regular 1 3/4 fire hose. All right, this would be the one that we would pull off most of the time. All right, and we'll show you guys a little bit of a demonstration of this in just a minute. This is a 2.5-inch hose. This is a bigger diameter hose. If we need to spray a lot of water quickly, this would be the hose that we would use. If you look here, these are all the different levers that we pull. Okay, and these levers, if you can see, like this one's yellow. Okay, well, we like to keep things simple for us. This one we would pull to get this hose right here. Okay, just we have the different cross lays, the different colors. It just lets us know which one is which. This tank inside here, you can't see it, but it's back behind this panel, holds 1,000 gallons of water. All right, so again, think about it as 1,000 milk jugs full of water. For most of the fires that we have, if it's just a small fire or one room, there's more than enough water in here. Okay, but if we have a bigger fire, we know that we're going to use more than 1,000 gallons. Okay, then we would hook up to a fire hydrant, which we're going to show you guys right here. All right, as you can see here, we have this yellow hose, which I talked about a little earlier. This is called 5-inch hose, and its sole job is to hook up to the fire hydrant. That's all we do with this hose. We hook it up here. We turn the fire hydrant on with this wrench you see on top. Okay, and it puts water into that 5-inch hose. Now you can see here where it goes into the fire truck. Okay, which you can tell is hooked to the back of this panel. Okay, so this water is going directly into that tank. What we would do is open this up, okay, and that allows the water to come into the tank. Now when we want to get water to come out, okay, again, we go back to these levers, all right? You can see we have this one hose out on the ground, and we're going to show you guys, we're going to give you a little demonstration of the water coming out of the fire hose. Okay guys, what I'm going to do now is we're going to give you a little demonstration of us shooting water out of this fire hose, okay? I have two different nozzles here, as you can see, okay? One has, as you can see here, the nozzle. This is what we call the nozzle, all right? And it's just a small diameter hose. So the water is going to come out of this, and it's going to stay really straight, okay? And it's going to travel a long distance, okay? We use this nozzle when we're inside a house. And I'm going to give you guys a little demonstration of what this does. Okay, this nozzle is called a fog nozzle. It's good for dumpster fires, things like that. We can take it inside, okay, but again, it's not the nozzle of preference when you're inside. And I'm going to show you guys what this nozzle does, okay? If you look on here, I can turn this circle, okay? See how I can change the pattern of this nozzle. Look at the pattern I'm putting out now, okay? But for dumpsters and things like that, this is a great nozzle. But because of the ability to change your pattern and not have a straight stream on it.